All right, everybody, we are finally fucking here. Let's go. It has taken me ages to get this fucking stream set up today, so let's do it. Welcome back to another episode of Figuring It Out with the Boys, the nightly show where we take a look at the more polarizing current events in today's media and see if we can make them, see if we can figure them out and talk a bit of shit at the same time. So, we do this shit Monday to Thursday, starting at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 9:30 Atlantic. I know today's a bit late, but let's get into it. If this content gets you a bit triggered, good. If not, drop us a like and a subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments. Let's get this shit going. It is just me today. Mitch caught a case of the bitch flu. Nah, he's just fucking working overtime today. But we got a lot of interesting things to cover. We're going to be looking at Trump's SCOTUS pick and how apparently she's a slave owner. The Rock voting for is apparently going to be voting for the Biden-Harris ticket 2 months out of the election, which will be interesting. Trump's Biden teleprompter ad, the new rules if you want to win the Oscars, and apparently Trump only paid $750 in taxes in 2016. So let's get into it, guys. So the first thing that we have up today is after Trump picked his Supreme Court of the United States nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, a few things came out about her. One is obviously she's very religious. She has a family of about seven kids, I think. But the interesting part is that 2 of these kids are adopted. Now, they're adopted from an African country. I can't remember where. I'm going to guess Kenya. I'm probably wrong. Don't sue me, please. I have nothing anyway. But that apparently isn't good. Apparently, it's actually terrible if you adopt some kids from a third world country. So let's have a look at what was being said by the genius Ibram X. Kendi. Dr. Ibram, as he likes to be called. So he says some white colonizers adopted black children. They civilized these savages children. Sorry, they civilized these savage children in the superior ways of white people while using them as props in their lifelong pictures of denial, while cutting the biological parents of these children out of the picture of humanity. Right. So let's just begin there. So some white colonizers, Amy Coney Barrett in this example, is adopting black children. What they're actually doing is not adopting them. They're ripping them away from their parents and forcing them into a life of denial while they bring them to, I'm guessing everyone's saying, the worst ways of white people. And I don't really know what his point here is, but let's hear him keep on going. So he goes, and whether this is Barrett or not is not the point. It's a belief too many white people have. If they have or adopted children of color, then they can't be racist. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to be racist, wouldn't it? I don't know many people out there that are adopting black kids and are racist at the same time. There might be some, I'm sure that there are, but, in reality, I just don't think that's really clear. And I think that for you to say, and whether this is Barrett or not is not the point, I think it was clearly the point, right? Like, if I made a post saying doctors named Ibram are pedophiles, and they are known for being the world's worst pedophiles, and they claim that they're not pedophiles, even though in reality what they're really doing is fucking children every night. But then if I was to then follow that up with, and whether or not this is Dr. Ibram X. Kendi is not the point. My point is simply that just because your name is Ibram and you say that you don't have sex with children doesn't mean that you're not a pedophile. Right? Like, that feels to me like where it's coming from is like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't want to support any black children, if you have lots of wealth and don't want to help anyone from any of these other countries, you're a racist. If you adopt black children out of poverty and help them have a better life and give them more opportunity, you're also a racist. So fuck you, Judge Barrett. You're never going to win. And Dr. Ibrahim, the king of moral superiority here, is clearly on the right path. So then he follows that up with saying, I'm challenging the idea that white parents of kids of color are inherently not racist. And the bots completely change what I'm saying to white parents of kids of color are inherently racist. These live and fake bots are good at their propaganda. Let's not argue with them. I love how you just get to call anyone who disagrees with you at this point a fucking bot. It's so ridiculous. Like, can't you just see that you're just being racist? Like, you're just being fucking racist. Like, what if a black parent decides to adopt 2 white kids or 2 Asian kids? Or what if they adopt black children? Are they not potentially are they not people the same way that these white people are people? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that white people inherently, some of them, based because of the color of their skin, are out adopting black kids and then essentially treating them like little slaves that they've picked up? I don't know. It seems a bit weird to me. Give me a second, guys, because I am just going to get this link to send out. Stay with me if you're there. I know this is boring as all hell. I promise to make it entertaining in a second for you. Just give me 2 secs to send this out to anyone that'll listen. So... and it should be basically it. All right. Okay. Oh, sweet. You didn't leave. Good on you, man. So I like this person's tweet here. Are you suggesting that any white family who adopts black kids are colonizers and that interracial adoption is somehow evil? Please clarify, because if this is your position, it's an evil one. Now, I don't think that's necessarily what he was trying to say. I think it's what he thinks. I think he does think that white people that adopt black kids are inherently evil. But I don't think that's exactly what he said there. I want to look at some of these other tweets that people made. This one here from Gad Sad. This is hilarious. I love it. Dear noble person of color, you are an execrable cretin. It is difficult to imagine someone so singularly obsessed with racial issues. Be careful of insulting me as I outrank you by far in victimology poker. That's hilarious. And then let's look at the next. Oh, yeah, because he called these children props. Check out my prop and I at the MLK Memorial, loser. I hope this hurts your fifis. And it's him with his black son. And this is sort of the point, right? Is when you go out and tell everyone, what was it again? What's the exact quote here? Some white colonizers. Is that like the name for white people from this fucking guy now? Is that what it is? If you're a white person, you're a white colonizer. It's not. I don't know. So some white colonizers adopted black children. They civilized these savage children in the superior ways of white. So he's talking as if he is one of these terrible white people. Like white people are out adopting black kids from Africa going, oh, we're going to civilize these savage children and in the superior ways of white people. Like, does anyone actually think like that? Does anyone know any people out there that have adopted children of other colors that think like that? Like, I don't know of anyone. I don't know many people that have adopted other racial children either, but I doubt that many of them are out there with like super racist ideas like that. But I could be wrong. Let's keep going. What else have people said? You can be as ignorant as the day is long and still hold an esteemed position in the left's broken ass system. Think of the hundreds of thousands spent to get this stupid and ignorant. Oh, wait, though, he'll post something to the effect he wasn't talking about Justice Coney, which is exactly what he did. He goes, and whether this is Barrett or not is not the point. It is a belief too many white people have. If they have or adopt a child of color, then they can't be racist. Is that the thought? Is that the thought that these people have? And where's your fucking proof, man? Like, this is the problem. It's like, where's the proof? You don't get to just say shit like that. Like, when there are thousands upon thousands of people that then view this shit and like think that it's okay to fucking say this crap, like, you got to understand there are people out there that see this, that take this dickhead's word as fact, and then are out there thinking that there's white colonizers adopting black children to like make their lives worse in some way, when in reality they're making their lives demonstrably better by far. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry. Turn that off. Anyway, guy's a fucking wanker. And this is another comment that this guy has made. And I think this is really important because this shows the view of this man. So, quote from Dr. Ibram X. Kendi: "The only remedy to racist discrimination is anti-racist discrimination. The only remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. And the only remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination." Does that sound like the world that we want to live in? Do we want to live in the world of like discrimination beats discrimination? I came from like my understanding, as far as I got it from everything I learned as a kid, was not that discrimination beats discrimination, but more so that love beats hate. And if you're facing a lot of hateful, angry people, that love is the best way to conquer that. I don't know what this guy wants to achieve with all that hatred, but I don't know. And just so that we don't think that I'm like making a big deal over some guy who means nothing, he's just some guy on Twitter. Like, firstly, this Ibram X. Kendi dude, let's have a look, just real quick. Let's have a look at how influential this fucker is. 317,000 people follow this dude. So basically, anytime this guy spews out any of that racist garbage, like that post that he had, 317,000 people see it. So a good portion of those people are then going to believe the vomit that this guy puts out and go around the world thinking the white people are these colonizers trying to ruin the lives of the kids that they adopt. Last thing I wanted to show is, once again, this is someone talking about his fucking thing, but look at this. Jack from Twitter, the CEO of Twitter, $10 million to Dr. Ibram Kendi and the Center for Anti-Racist Research at BU. This research will inform and fuel much needed overdue policy change. I appreciate you, Dr. Kendi, and I am grateful for your work. $10 million? This fucking clown that thinks that fucking white people that adopt black children are somehow racist and then pretends like he wasn't talking about the Supreme Court justice, who he very clearly was, gets $10 million to fuel his anti-racist research, which he said previously is discrimination, that he's trying to use to combat racist discrimination. So he's fighting discrimination with discrimination, and the only remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination, and the only remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination, and the only remedy to future discrimination is more discrimination. Let's just discriminate against fucking everybody. Anyway, done with this fucking loser. What have we got next? Let's go into The Rock. This will be fucking great. So, I love this. So, as a political and independent centrist, The Rock has voted for both parties in the past. In this critical presidential election, though, he's endorsing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Progress takes courage, humanity, empathy, strength, kindness, and respect. We must all vote. Interesting. So before we watch this video here, I love how, like, once again, I know that Biden and Harris are trying to get every Republican that they can rather than trying to actually get progressive votes, which is retarded because there's so many progressives that would actually vote for you if you would just do anything. I don't know, like, once again, healthcare, Green New Deal, end the war on drugs, police reform, legalize marijuana, fucking, like, there's a million things that you could do if you wanted to get more votes. But instead, they're trying to reach Republicans by using people like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who have been in their favorite Fast and Furious movie, and posing him as a political independent and centrist. Does anyone actually believe that The Rock is a fucking centrist? Like, and what even really is a centrist? You mean the center of, like, the Democrats and the Republicans? Because there's no center there. Like, they're basically the same fucking party. They pretty much want the same thing. Are you saying you're a libertarian? Because why don't you vote for the Libertarian Party then, Dwayne? Or are you a progressive? Then why don't you vote for the People's Party? Not the fucking Democrats or the Republicans if you're a centrist or an independent voter. If you actually give a fuck about any of the problems in your country, these two parties are not doing it for you. But let's hear why he thinks he needs to vote for
Happy Sunday,
Biden
everybody.
and Harris. Let's go.
We are approximately 5 weeks away from Election Day, arguably the most critical election our country has seen in decades. Now, that said, I'm going to be pushing this political conversation just a little bit more. Now, look, I've got friends in all parties, but the one thing that we can always agree on
is that my muscles are fucking massive. Look at that fucking guy.
Is the conversation and the dialogue, and where that conversation lands is always the most critical part. Now, this is something that I've certainly not done in the past.
You mean being a corporate tool? Is that what you've never done in the past? Or sucked the system's dick? Is that what you've never done in the past?
So I'm going to go big. You guys know me. If I go big.
I take the biggest corporate dick you've ever fucking seen. They make a fucking fist-sized fucking dick and in the system where I fucking take it.
So, guys, I had the opportunity to sit down with Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris to talk about a number of important issues that we're facing as a country. I thought it was a great and extremely productive conversation that we had. And as a registered independent for years now with centrist ideologies.
You can't even fucking say it. That's how scripted this fucking thing is. Oh, as a registered independent for years now with centrist ideologies, like, fuck off, man. Like, what are you even talking about? Do you know how we know that that's bullshit? Because he's clearly reading it off a fucking teleprompter. Why don't you tell us who you usually register to vote for as a registered independent? Once again, are you a libertarian? What party would you generally vote for?
I do feel that Vice President Biden and Senator Harris are the best choice to lead our country, and I am endorsing them to become president and vice president of our United States. This past January, approximately 9 months ago, my old man died, and I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to him, but he always said that respect is given when it's earned. So you got to get out there and you got to earn it with your own two hands. And that was my very first question to Vice President Biden and Senator Harris. And that question is, how will you earn the respect of the American people once you're inside the White House? Here's that conversation.
Hey, CJ.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, guys. I got to tell you, well, it is so good seeing you guys. Senator Harris, it's a pleasure to finally see you and finally meet you.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to see you. I'm a huge fan of everything from Fast and Furious, all of them, to Jumanji. So
all of them? Even the ones he wasn't in?
Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for your work.
Look at these fucking stooges, fucking socially distanced from each other. Like, are you telling me that what? Neither of these two had a COVID test before they fucking sat in this room? You got 800-year-old dementia death rattle Joe Biden sitting on stage with Kamala Harris, and what? They haven't had any COVID test? You're telling me that you're not certain enough that these two don't have COVID, that they couldn't be a little bit fucking closer together? Oh my fuck, man.
Let me start off by saying, guys, I've been a lucky guy over the years in my life and my career to have been part of and participated in some real defining moments. And I have never publicly endorsed a presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate in my life, over my career.
But now, when you're going to pay me tons and tons of fucking money, I'll endorse whoever the fuck you tell me to endorse, guys. Let's fucking go. Biden, Harris. Whoop, whoop.
So I figured let's kick this conversation off this way by...
Sorry, my cat just knocked over one of my lights. What's it like being the worst cat in the world, Alice?
Me officially, publicly endorsing you both to become president and vice president of our great country.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Incredible.
For real.
Oh, man, it's a great deal, Todd.
You guys are both obviously experienced to lead. You've done great things. Joe, you've had such an incredible career. You've led, in my opinion, with great compassion and heart and drive, but also soul. And you and I talked about that in the past and how important soul is. And Kamala, I'm going to embarrass you just for a little bit because I'm going to talk a little bit about your amazing experience. And you have been an attorney, a district attorney, a state attorney, U.S.
So a
senator,
cop.
Smart, tough. I've seen you in those hearings. And in my opinion,
Have you, bitch? What are you talking about? You've seen her in those hearings? When? When have you seen her in any hearings? What have you seen her fucking do, man? Like, who's seen her in any hearings? Is this believable? Is this what we're like? Are we just pretending that The Rock's been like following Kamala Harris's fucking career rather than working 20 plus hours a day like he clearly fucking does? Like, I have no problem with Dwayne Johnson. Zero. Always actually really liked him. I think he's a funny fucking guy. I think he's clearly a super hard worker. Physically, he's a fucking specimen. And I think that many people, myself included, like as someone with that type of like complexion, would love to look like a guy like The Rock and have looked up to him as a male role model. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a really, really good role model for young men, other than all the steroid use, but for the most part, like the work ethic and the mindset, he's a fucking incredible human being. Do we think at any point in his life he's been spending any time following any politician's career? Really? So, like, let me just understand this. He wakes up in the morning, does a 2-hour workout, goes and fucking does all of his acting work, deals with his business and his tequila and everything like that, does another 2-hour workout, eats 10,000 fucking calories in a day, and then spends 3 hours catching up on Senate prosecutors' fucking careers. Like, what planet do we fucking live on at this point? Oh my God.
Honored and thank you for that.
Thank you for watching my career, which we both know you never did. This is a really good fucking script that we wrote. Hey, this is really fucking good.
You're welcome. Joe, you and I have talked about the relationship that you had with your father. You know, this idea of respect and earning respect that our parents have taught us.
And you refuse to actually release a real platform and tell the world what you're going to do. So let me see. Are you going to tell us what you're going to do now?
By leveling with the American people, by taking responsibility. When we fail, acknowledge it. We're not going to be perfect.
You mean like how you pretended to the people of Flint, Michigan that their water was fine? What about when you dropped more bombs than George Bush did during your 8 years as vice president? What about going from 2 wars to 7? What about Obamacare being a huge failure? Any of these things? Are you going to acknowledge any of those things? What have you taken responsibility for? What about the woman that you fucking assaulted? Take any responsibility for that? Fuck me, man. This is just insane.
But take responsibility. Say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I believe, and tell truth.
What do you believe? You wanted 100,000 more police. You wanted more prisons. You wanted everyone fucking locked up. And now you are on the other end of this whole thing and are supporting the fucking idiots that want to defund the fucking police. Kamala Harris, you locked up thousands of black people for marijuana use and marijuana possession, and then laughed on a radio show about how you smoked pot when you were younger. Like, is that you doing and saying what you believe and then telling the truth? Like, because these are like, unless you were lying at one point and or you just miraculously completely changed your views and decided not to do anything about all of the terrible policies you both put in place, I don't know how to take that as you are going to tell the truth, do and say what you believe, if you haven't done it over the past 40 plus fucking years in politics, man. Like, what the fuck?
That sounds so basic, but the American people are strong. They're tough. They can take anything if you level with them and tell the truth. And one of the ways we're going to do it is demonstrate we mean what we say. Our administration, DJ, is going to look like America. It's going to be representative of all of America.
Absolutely, Kamala. How do you feel?
What do you mean? How are you going to let him get off with that, DJ? How? How do you let him get away with saying that right there? He didn't answer your fucking question. What are we going to do? We're going to tell the truth. Do you believe that? Do you believe that a politician is going to tell you the fucking truth? Is that like I know that we all think that fucking Trump's a big liar or whatever, but like, hasn't the thing forever been that all politicians lie? Like, isn't that something that we all know to be true? Is that basically all fucking politicians lie? You ask him what he's going to do to earn the respect of the fucking American voter, he turns around and says, we're going to tell the truth. And you go, great. You've solved all of my fucking problems. I didn't need healthcare. I didn't need fucking Green New Deal. I didn't need to save the fucking environment. Didn't care about free education or cheaper education. I didn't give a fuck about actual police reform. I didn't give a fuck about the tax code. I don't give a fuck about any of these things. Just your word, Joe Biden. Your fucking word is more than enough for me. You fucking gullible cunt, DJ. Jesus. Like, what? The thing is, you're not gullible. You're really not gullible, are you? You're doing this for, like, Hollywood and more money. It's like, you're not.
How do we earn it? How do we earn it with our?
How do we earn it? How do we earn it?
To your point, DJ. So, it's about trust, right?
Mirrors in.
And as we know, the nature of trust is that, like Joe was saying, and you've said, it's a reciprocal relationship. You give and you receive trust.
Yes.
And one of the foundations.
No, fuck you, actually. No. Not when it comes to politicians. It's not a reciprocal fucking thing. You don't have to trust us and we'll trust you. We should just be able to trust you. What the fuck do we have to do to earn your trust? Vote for you? Is that what you're about to say, you fuck?
Truth. You must speak truth. But here's the reality. Truth can sometimes be really difficult to hear. And for that reason, sometimes people don't speak it. But you cannot have trust if you don't speak truth. You know that as a parent. We know that as parents.
So, do you mean like when you fucking slandered the fuck out of Joe Biden in all of the debates and then turned around and said, oh, it was a debate. I didn't really mean the things that I said about him. We were debating, as if debating is an open fucking invitation to just lie your ass off. Like, you're up there telling people about fucking truth.
You have to speak truth. And as long as there is an understanding that it is being spoken not to confront, not to hurt, but to deal with things the way they must be handled, I think that has to be part of the core of what we do as we go forward. Because to your point, we're facing as a country so many challenges, and people are grieving. I mean, people are grieving the loss of life, the loss of jobs, the loss of certainty, the loss of normalcy.
You mean like when you locked up thousands of black people for marijuana possession? I'm sure they were really fucking upset and didn't know how to deal with it either. Especially when they then heard you talking about how you had used marijuana before.
And to heal and get through this, we're going to have to be honest about what healing will require.
Which will be?
Yes.
And that's one of the things that Joe and I really do have in common, which is we're motivated by healing, but we know to do that, we have to be honest about what it's going to take.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and
Okay. Fuck this now. This is retarded. We're going to sit here and pretend like you two just said something. What did you just say? You both said, how are we going to earn the respect of the people? We're just going to be truthful. We need trust. Trust is reciprocal. And to get trust, you need to be truthful. And truth is about healing. And Joe and I, we care about truth and healing. I don't give a fuck about truth or healing. I don't care. Just offer some policies that people want to vote for, get their votes, and then implement the fucking policies. It's not a hard fucking ask. I don't give a fuck. If you are the most truthful human being in the world, you have no fucking platform.
And to that point, when you're honest with a scenario and people who you care about, and obviously you guys, all of us care deeply about our American people.
Oh yeah, we care, DJ. We fucking care about the American people real hard. All of us, all three of us, we fucking care about the American people. DJ, how much do you care about the American people? You fucking idiot. Oh my God.
When you mention the word decency, you mention the word respect and honesty, dealing with this, but it's also, it leads right into making progress, but through a humanity, and how important that progress is, but through humanity. And thank you for saying that.
For saying what?
Progress through humanity. I like the tie-in there of what Vice President Biden and Senator Harris said about truth, because as we all seek the truth, and as we all want to do our best to speak truthfully to each other, it's not to confront, it's not to hurt, but it's to make progress. And, you know, to me, there's a lot of ways that we as a human race can make progress, but the most powerful way for us to make progress, to me, is through humanity, is through decency. Progress through humanity, progress through decency, through equality, progress through kindness, because kindness matters. I appreciate you guys joining me in this conversation here, and there is much more to come.
Go back to making movies, man. What are you doing? You're making an embarrassment of yourself, honestly, DJ. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Oh, gross. It's so gross. Oh, I like you too. Why? Why did you have to fucking do that shit? All right, let's see what people say. Sorry, man. Love watching Jumanji with my kids, but after all these decades, now Joe is finally going to fix some problems? No. And then he showed this picture, which I fucking love. Oh, look at this. 1973, Biden elected. 1974, senator. 75, senator. And he was senator all up until 2008, then became vice president for 8 years. And now in 2020, 47 years later, he's going to fix things? It was around here that he started the crime bill, like right around this sort of timeline here. That was the main reason why all this Black Lives Matter stuff's happening at the moment, because he decided to get tons more police to go into minority areas and harass the fuck out of people until they went to prison. And then people eventually got fucking really pissed off at that. But he's the one to fix it with truth and respect. Fuck you. Alyssa Milano. Thank you, The Rock. Oh. Fucking gross. I love this. Oh, hey, it's a D-list celebrity. Like, how fucking retarded is Alyssa Milano? If anyone watching this remembers the show Charmed that Alyssa was on, her colleague from that time, Rose McGowan, fucking hates her. You should just Google Rose McGowan, Alyssa Milano feud and have a look at the fucking shit that she says about Alyssa. All right. And I love this tweet from Rob. When Alyssa Milano thanks you or says anything kind to you, you can automatically know that you're on the wrong side. I fucking love that. And I think it's very, very true. But I thought that the funniest part of this whole Rock thing was this Instagram post. So he posted the same thing on Instagram, basically. And if you look at the fucking comments, Trump, Pence, the best choice for America. Sorting them by fucking time. Damn. When you go on the app, if anyone's watching this, just go to the app and go find the post and go open up the comments, because if you fucking open up those comments, man, like when it actually just shows them by the amount of likes they have, it's all Trump support. The thing I don't think these fucking idiots realize is that when you do shit like this, like, look, I get why Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to vote for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has no fucking problems that he needs government to fix at all. Now, that's not the same for a lot of people in America. A lot of people in America need a lot of help right now. Most of them just lost their fucking jobs. A ton of them about to lose their fucking homes. Like, they have problems. They have real issues that they need fixed. When they see some fucking A-list Hollywood celebrity douchebag go on and tell them who to fucking vote for because the person that they're voting for is going to tell them the truth, this disenfranchises voters more than anything. You're either going to turn people into Trump supporters, you're going to make it so that people don't vote, because the real people out there that actually need their fucking problems fixed did not hear Joe Biden or Kamala Harris address any of their concerns. And no one, other than some fucking guy who has just been paid to read a fucking script, could ever believe that two fucking politicians who have lied for decades are going to suddenly start being truthful. And if you believe that, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. If you think that that we should all vote, if you think that Americans should vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because they're going to tell the truth more than Donald Trump, you're an idiot. Simple as that. Fucking no ifs, ands, or buts. You're retarded. Just do not tell anyone to fucking vote just because Joe Biden's going to tell the fucking truth. Ugh. Gross. So gross, man. Ugh. Anyway, let's get on to the next thing. What do we got next? We got Trump Biden teleprompter ad. That is fucking hilarious. Let's get in. This will be more fun for me because this is just fucking hilarious anyway. All right. So Trump released this ad for Joe Biden called Joe's Teleprompter. I love it. Let's go.
Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer a Q&A with supporters?
What will your administration do to help them give him that chance?
Flew it up here. You know,
There used to be a basic part of
Joe Biden possibly reading his responses from the teleprompter.
social distancing and wearing masks, which I never do when I walk outside of this house. I never film it. Now, one day, on day one,
Has Joe Biden ever used a teleprompter during local interviews or to answer a Q&A?
It's trying to distract the American people.
Can you say yes or no, Brett? Yes or no? You can't answer the question.
you know, the rapidly rising I don't know.
My cat Alice just keeps fucking light. Why are you doing this to me? So the next thing that I wanted to, let me just fix this fucking light first. One second. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, fucking Trump basically had an ad, talks about how Joe Biden fucking needs his teleprompter all the time. I think it's pretty accurate. I found some other videos as well that he clipped some of these, but also just ones that are interesting. So let's take a look.
There are going to be no deportations in the first 100 days of my campaign.
Let me get that right. You are going to freeze deportations?
Freeze deportations for the first 100 days. And the only people who will be deported are people who committed a felony while here. That's number one. Okay, I lost that.
Yeah, well, but that's good because we could talk you and I on that.
Okay. But think about it.
One second.
They're really showing are people who committed a felony while here. That's number one. Okay, I lost that.
Yeah, well, but that's good because we could talk you and I on that.
Okay.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine being a politician saying that in your first 100 days you're going to stop any deportation and then not knowing your own position on that so badly that you need, like, that you lose your place on the teleprompter and can't just fucking ad lib the thing? Like, this is why I don't have any faith in Joe Biden, because I don't give a fuck if you tell the truth. I don't give a fuck if you are more respectful. If you don't even know your own position so much that you can't even fucking read them off of a fucking screen that tells you what to say, how am I meant to help
The
you?
only people who will be deported are people who committed a felony while here. That's number one. Okay, I lost that.
Yeah, well, but that's good because we could talk you and I on that.
Jesus.
Okay.
But
All right.
But
Let's see the next one.
Lonnie knows I believe this every fiber of my being. We're posed. What I propose is it can be done. I think we're in a position to really make it happen. And my team and your team are already working closely together to light up the path forward here. Critical laws like the PRO Act to strengthen collective bargaining. On politics like prevailing and look. Yes, I'm taking too much time, but
You are. That's right. You are taking too much time. But let's watch that again. That was fucking funny.
Lonnie knows I believe this every fiber of my being. We're posed. What I propose is
We're posed. What I propose is
I think we're in a position to really make it happen. My team and your team are already working closely together to light up the path forward here. Critical laws like the PRO Act to strengthen collective bargaining. On politics like prevailing and look. Yes, I'm taking too much time.
Holy fuck, man. Oh, Biden, what are you doing? What's wrong with your brain, my friend? What else we got here?
Look, one of the things that that I think is really important is that we somehow put that back on. There's somehow look. One of the things that that I think is really important is that we somehow put that back on. Because somehow that we're in a situation where we
Put that back on. I can't. You know I can't have a conversation without reading. How the fuck am I meant to talk to this guy unless you put all the words up in the screen in front of me that tell me what to say, man? Come on, man. Come on, man. Fucking hell. Let's watch that again.
look. One of the things that that I think is really important is that we somehow put that back on.
Put that back on.
A situation where we
oh, fuck me, man. You're fucking retarded. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, let's see. One more video on this.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. I mean, think about it. COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. I mean, think about it.
You think about it, bitch. What the fuck, man? Like, okay, look, in reality, I feel a bit bad because I'm making fun of a poor old man that really doesn't even know what fucking planet he's on at this point. And I feel bad for that. But I also don't feel bad because every one of my fucking liberal friends is saying that you got to vote for fucking Joe Biden or the world's going to fucking collapse. And I don't know why you would ever think that this fucking guy is capable of running a fucking country. He can barely run a fucking speech. His own speech of his own ideas. He's never been able to. He's a constant plagiarizing fucking cheat. But even when his brain did work, but now his brain doesn't work and he didn't even create any of his original thoughts now. So there's no way he's going to be able to recall them from that fucking abyss that he calls a fucking brain. Jesus Christ. Like, stop parading this fucking degenerate old man in front of us. And then people will stop making fun of him for being a fucking degenerating old man. Ugh. All right. Let's get on to the next thing. I got Trump's taxes, or we've got the Oscars announcement. What do we want to listen to? Let's go with Trump's taxes. So, all right. So, the New York Times. Fuck you. How hard do they make it, right? Just let me look at your fucking article. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's have a look. So long concealed records show Trump's chronic losses and years of tax avoidance. The Times obtained Donald Trump's tax information extending over more than 2 decades, revealing struggling properties, vast write-offs, an audit battle, and hundreds of millions in debt coming due. Donald J. Trump paid $750 in federal income taxes the year he won the presidency. In his first year in the White House, he paid another $750. He had paid no income taxes at all in 10 of the previous 15 years, largely because he reported losing so much more money than he had made. As the president wages a re-election campaign that polls say is in danger of losing, his finances are under stress, beset by losses and hundreds of million dollars in debt coming due that he has personally guaranteed. Also hanging over him is a long deck. Is there any source for that information? Also hanging over him is a decade-long audit battle with the IRS over the legitimacy of a $72.9 million tax refund he claimed and received after declaring huge losses. An adverse ruling could cost him more than $100 million. When is that happening? The tax returns that Mr. Trump has long fought to keep private tell a story fundamentally different from the one he has sold to the American public. His reports to the IRS portray a businessman who takes in hundreds of millions of dollars a year, yet racks up chronic losses that he aggressively employs to avoid paying taxes. Now, with his financial challenges mounting, the records show that he depends more and more on making money from businesses that put him in potential and often direct conflict of interest with his job as president. Once again, is there a source for this? Are we just like writing shit with no links, man? Like, what the fuck? What does the New York Times come? Like, where is in-text citations? I find them on fucking cooking recipe websites. Like, what the fuck are you doing, NYT? The New York Times has obtained tax return data extending over more than 2 decades for Mr. Trump and the hundreds of companies that make up his business organization, including detailed information that from his first 2 years in office. It does not include his personal tax returns for 2018 or 2019. This article offers an overview of the Times' findings. Additional articles will be published in the going to slow bleed this garbage out until the fucking election, and it's not going to make any fucking difference, man. The returns are some of the most sought after and speculated about records in burp. That was a little baby one. The returns are some of the most sought after and speculated about records in recent memory. In Mr. Trump's nearly 4 years and blah, 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 blah. What is actually saying? Over the past decade, President Trump has paid tens of millions of dollars in personal taxes to the federal government, including paying millions in personal taxes since. With the term personal taxes, however, Mr. Garten appears to be conflating income taxes with other federal taxes Mr. Trump has paid. So over the past decade, President Trump has paid tens of millions of dollars in personal taxes to the federal government, including paying millions in personal taxes since announcing his candidacy in 2015. With the term personal taxes, however, Mr. Garten appears to be conflating income taxes with other federal taxes Mr. Trump has paid, Social Security, Medicare, and taxes for his household employees. Mr. Garten also asserted that some of what the president owed was paid with tax credits, a misleading characterization of credits, which reduced a business owner's income tax bill as a reward for various activities. So he did pay millions in taxes? Is that what we're... It's just not his own personal taxes, but they are personal taxes, and the money did come from him. Is that what that's saying? The tax data examined by the Times provides a roadmap of revelations from write-offs for the cost of a criminal defense lawyer and a mansion used as a family retreat to a full accounting of the millions of dollars received from the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow. Oh, I had to put Russia in there. Fuck, man. Russia Gate. Together with related financial documents and filings, the records, blah, 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 blah. Unless what Mr. Trump a total of $427.4 million. What's the point of this article? So he paid a ton more taxes overseas. See, the fucking bullshit part of this. Oh, this is just annoying, man. Like, it's just like they've just made this obscenely long article. Yeah, Stormy Daniels. See, this is just like you ever watch those fucking shows where they run out of ideas and then just decide to like play the greatest hits? And those episodes always fucking suck. This seems like one of those. They've got Stormy Daniels in there. They've got Russia in there. I'm sure they have the P-tape in there. But I think the question is, did he do anything illegal? Or did he skirt around tax law the same way every rich dickhead does? And like, so we're on the same page. I don't think that that's a good thing. I'm not like sitting here going, oh yeah, it's really good when billionaires don't pay any taxes because our tax code is fucked or the Americans' tax code is fucked. I mean, let's be real. You live in basically any Western country and the tax code is very, very beneficial for the 1%. There's a real there's a real thought process there that They don't deserve to have such easy tax incentives to get through. I think that the tax code should be changed. I think there should be tax reform. Trump's obviously never going to bring in tax reform. And as it can see here, he's tried his hardest to never pay taxes, as has every other fucking rich person and corporation on the fucking planet. But I think what that then comes down to is like, is Biden gonna fucking change the tax code to stop Trump? Because when Trump was paying none of these fucking taxes, Obama and Biden were the president and vice president. So, like, what's the point of the fucking article here? Like, when he was paying no taxes was when the person who you want us to vote for was running the fucking country. So if that's a problem, why didn't he change it? Is it because he has 60 different billionaire donors? I think it might be. But I'll never fucking know. Whatever. Yeah, Miss Universe. Are we going to see the tax returns? So how did he escape nearly all taxes on that fortune, even the effective tax? The answer rests in the third category of Mr. Trump's endeavors, businesses that he owns and runs himself. The collective and persistent losses he reported from them largely absolved him. Like, to me, this article should just be an ad for Trump's accountant. Like, Trump's accountant should just run this article as a Facebook ad to, I mean, rich people probably don't use social media that much, but like, find a way to get this article in front of every fucking billionaire in North America. Because I swear to God, they're all going to be clamoring for this guy's business. Like, you were able to legally make it so that Trump earned billions of dollars and only paid hundreds in taxes? Yeah, I want you, man. Especially when we know that either of the two potential incoming presidents, Trump or Biden, are going to do sweet fuck all to help fucking change this. How much money do you think Trump's going to pay in tax in 2024? Let's say Biden wins. Or 2028. Or 2030. I've got a fucking answer for you. It's $750. Or whatever the lowest possible amount is. Whatever the lowest possible amount for Trump to pay in taxes is going to be what he fucking pays. Fucking Alice. If you knock that light over again, I am going to smack you on the bum. Watch her fucking do it. Watch her do it. Fucking smack this fucking cat. Oh, little cutesy. Little baby. Little baby. Oh, she's being aggressive. Fucking crazy. So, look, this would be something that I would give a fuck about if I thought that there was any chance that Biden would actually change anything. I used to care about Trump's taxes. More because I wanted to understand if there was anything illegal going on that could be proved through it. But it looks like there's not. Once again, there's no fucking crime. Like, I'm not saying that Trump never commits crime. I'm not saying he doesn't do anything wrong. But he's clearly very good at hiding it. And you're probably not going to catch him out. And I just don't understand what the point of this is. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. He paid very little in taxes. Like, I get that. I just don't understand what the problem is. Do you think Dwayne Johnson pays much in tax? And if you're going to say, well, he's not the president, well, he's telling the whole fucking country to vote for someone. So he is putting a real political opinion out there. Should his taxes be looked at? And what, if he pays low taxes, should we completely discard his opinion? I think that, like, I just think that if you are, look at it this way. If I had billions of dollars, I would also pay the lowest tax that I could. Every year I try to pay the lowest tax that I can. I just don't have enough money to shelter it like these fucks do. But that's not Trump's fault. That is the whole entire system's fault. You can go back 100 years when they fucking changed income. They changed it so that they actually brought in an income tax and stopped tariffing other countries. That's where this became a problem. It's not fucking Trump, man. Oh my God. I'm getting fucking annoyed with this shit. And this article's just nothing. It's just nothing. It's just words. Like, link me some source. Show me something. You just made the article so big so that no one would ever read this. Like, basically just laying out the strategy that if you had billions of dollars, to cancel out the tax bills, Mr. Trump made use of $9.7 million in business investment credits, at least some of which, like, you've just gone line by line as to like how he got deductions, how he got refunds, how he got credits, and then you've narrativized it into this fucking story, which is like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. You can do it, but don't pretend like you're actually telling anyone any sort of information that is novel or interesting here. You're just breaking down his tax returns in a way that someone, if they spent the hours to read this fucking thing, tried to, they would actually be able to understand it, which is sort of okay. Just don't make it sound like you're sitting on some sort of a smoking gun, because you're not. You're just recounting his fucking tax returns. You're a glorified accountant, New York Times. Let's see what people said. So funny how Trump is so against defunding the police, considering his taxes prove he's never actually funded them. I think that's hilarious. And I'm not actually a huge fan of Brian Tyler Cohen. Honestly, I think he's a bit of a dick. But I think that is very, very, very funny. That is fucking hilarious. Funny how Trump is so against defunding the police, considering his taxes prove he's never actually funded them. The Associated Press. The financial strategies that President Trump used to shrink his tax burden to essentially zero are surprisingly common among America's uber wealthy. But tax experts say Trump pushed those strategies to the limit, perhaps to the breaking point. What does that mean? What does that mean? See, this is the annoying thing. When you read this, I'm going to read this again. So the financial strategies that President Trump used to shrink his tax burden to essentially zero are surprisingly common among America's uber wealthy. Okay, so what that part says is that Trump does what all other uber wealthy people do. And then this second sentence is like meant to try and say that Trump does it worse than all of them. But in reality, it's not actually saying that. All it's saying is, but tax experts say Trump pushed those strategies to the limit, perhaps to the breaking point. Do you think that Jeff Bezos isn't trying to push these tax fucking things to the limit? Perhaps even to the breaking point? Did he break anything? Did he break a law? Has he committed a fucking crime? Did he do something wrong? Not morally, legally. Did he do something wrong? Something that other billionaires are not doing because of the fact that if they were to do it, it would be illegal. Stop using words like breaking point. That doesn't mean anything in this context. Like if let's say you're pushing me to my breaking point, what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean that you cross the line. It just means you're pushing the limits. Okay? Like, I just don't understand. If someone can make more sense of this, please fucking teach me, because this is just annoying to me. I don't get it. If it was illegal, we would have heard about it by now. Was he deferring the tax payment by reinvesting profit? My opinion. Hey, Mr. Trump, please teach us how to do that. I totally agree. If it was illegal, we would have heard about it by now. Like, these fucking people that push the Russiagate conspiracy and try and fuck with this guy, like, literally anytime he does anything, you're telling me that, like, if there was something illegal in his tax returns, it wouldn't be fucking the biggest news that we'd all heard right now. We all know it's fucking nothing, because otherwise it would be in the middle of every fucking article. The only thing to go on was that he didn't pay much in tax, which I can understand how some people are pissed off by that. I'm annoyed that billionaires don't pay any fucking taxes. I wish the tax code would fucking change. Personally, I don't think that we should be taxing billionaires like 70% like AOC does. I think that, because I think that the problem is that they would still just do exactly what Trump's doing and hide it. What should be done is make them pay like 10 or 20% tax or something small, but make it so that it can't be sheltered. Just, there you go. That's your tax. You're paying that. Simple. I don't give a fuck if you lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Tough luck. I don't care. Stop them from being able to shelter that money and you'll fix a lot of these fucking problems. You can make the tax rate 100%. If you have the same fucking tax deductions in there and all of the tax laws that allow these people to fucking scapegoat everything and hire the best accountants in the world to do whatever the fuck they want, they're never going to pay tax. It doesn't matter if you have Joe Biden in. It doesn't matter if you have AOC in. It doesn't matter if you have Bernie Sanders in. It does not matter. Unless they stop allowing these people to shelter their fucking money, it won't matter what the tax rate is. From loopholes to investments, rich Americans often deploy sophisticated tax avoidance strategies to maximize their wealth. I mean, that sums it up. If you are rich, you can shelter your money. If you're not, fuck you. I think that that's a shit way for the country to be run. I think that that is, if I knew for sure, or not even if I knew for sure, if I had any sort of a thought that Joe Biden was actually going to find a way to stop these billionaires from sheltering their fucking money, I would completely be for voting for him. But he's not. He's not going to do anything to change this. Once again, he was vice president when Trump was paying these zero fucking taxes. He was running the country when Trump was paying no tax. What do you expect him to do now? Do you think he's going to change? Really? Fuck, you are all deluded. All right, this is the last one. This is probably the most annoying of the fucking night. Oscars announced new inclusion requirements for Best Picture eligibility. The diversity and a little bit too big there, Royce. Calm down. The Diversity and Inclusion Initiative has been a heavy focus for the Oscars the past few years, shown by the expansive membership initiative, blah, blah, blah. Basically, the Oscars put in some rules where if you want to win an Oscar at this point, your movie has to follow one of these following standards. Let's read this little intro. Academy President David Rubin and be fucking good if I could talk. I feel like Joe Biden right now, fucking trying to read. Academy President David Rubin and Academy CEO Dawn Hudson said in a joint statement, "The aperture must widen to reflect our diverse global population in both the creation of motion pictures and in the audiences who connect with them. The Academy is committed to playing a vital role in helping make this a reality," they continued. The Academy is committed to playing a vital role helping them. They just repeat the same line twice. Maybe they had a stroke. The standards are as follows. Standard A, on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. To achieve Standard A, the film must meet one of the following criteria. A1, lead or significant supporting actors. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Asian, Hispanic, Latinx. So what they mean there is Hispanic/Latino or Latina. Black/African American, Indigenous, Native American, Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern or North African, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, other underrepresented race or ethnicity. Would I count? I mean, I'm part Filipino. I wonder how much you have to have. Like they say Asian. Like I'm quarter Filipino. Does that count? Hey, 2, general ensemble cast. At least 30% of all actors in secondary and more minor roles are from at least 2 of the following underrepresented groups. Oh, women. Okay, so men, fuck you. Racial or ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing. So let me understand this right. You can have a completely female cast, a completely black cast, a completely gay cast. You could even have a completely white, straight woman cast, or a completely gay white man cast, or a completely straight. You could have a cast of completely straight me's, as far as I understand it. I mean, I'm only 25%, so maybe if you had 100 mixed race people, it would only be 25% of the actors are minority. I don't know. I don't know how all this works. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to figure it out. But if you have a group of straight white men, they could even be straight white men who are hard of hearing, then they'd be fine. But if you're a straight white man that hasn't had a really fucked up life, you're fine. You're not you're fine. You're not allowed to win an Oscar anymore. Fuck. If Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt decide to do like a 2-person movie, they can never win the Oscar. Main storyline, subject matter. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, man. This is so brutal. I'm getting a fucking headache listening to this shit. Standard B, creative leadership and project team. To achieve standard... So, how, like, do they need to get all of the standards? So standard B, creative leadership and project team. To achieve standard B, the film must meet one of the criteria below. B1, creative leadership and department heads. At least 2 of the following creative leadership positions and department heads: casting director, cinematographer, composer, costume designer, director, editor, hairstylist, makeup artist, producer, production designer, set director, sound, VFX supervisor, and writer are from the following underrepresented group. So they need to be women, racial or ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing. So what if you had like a fully male cast, a fully white male straight cast with fully white straight male creatives? What if like they all just said that they were non-binary? Then would it be able to win an Oscar? I'm genuinely asking. What happens then? Whose word do we take for it with regards to the LGBTQ+? Like, I'm two-spirited. I'm gender non-conforming. Like, what? Where is it? Where's the fucking line? So at least one of those positions must belong to the following underrepresented racial or ethnic group. Yeah, other key role. So other key roles, at least 6 other crew or team and technical positions, excluding production assistants, are from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. These positions include, but are not limited to, first AD gaffer, script supervisor. So you need 6 crew members that are from an underrepresented. Fuck me, man. If you have a really small crew, this could be really hard. Overall crew composition. At least 30% of the film's crew is from the following underrepresented groups: women, racial or ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf and hard of hearing. Like, what if I just don't understand. Like, if I wanted to make a movie with only mixed race people in it and no white people, is that racist? Like, it feels like it wouldn't be. If I just wanted to make, like, if I just what if I wanted to make Soul Plane, right? Like, fucking basically no white people in it. That's fine, right? What if I wanted to make, like, a white version of that movie? Or a white person, just a movie with lots of white people in it? Are you seriously going to restrict me from winning an award, even if I have a really good fucking movie? What if it's a movie that's set in a time where there weren't really black people in the area? What if the movie's set in fucking, like, I don't know, Sweden 100 years ago? Do we need to just put Asian people and Hispanic people in there, even though they wouldn't have been there at the time, for that movie to be able to win an award? What if I have a cast and crew that I like working with, but only 22% of them are from an underrepresented group rather than the 30 that I need? Do I need to fire some of my friends just to hire these guys? Standard C, industry access and opportunities. The film's distribution or financing companies has, C1, paid apprenticeship and internship opportunities. The film's distribution or financing company has paid apprenticeships or internships that are from the following underrepresented groups and satisfy the criteria below. Wow. The major studios distributors are required to have substantive, ongoing paid apprenticeships, internships, inclusive of underrepresented groups, must also include racial or ethnic groups in most of the following departments: production/development, physical production, post-production, music, VFX, acquisitions, business affairs, distribution, marketing, and publicity. In most of the following departments? You have to have substantive, ongoing paid apprenticeships or internships, inclusive of underrepresented groups, in the majority of those categories. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Is this what we want? I mean, clearly it's what some people want. And I can understand why you would want this if you're a minority. But doesn't this seem racist? Like, doesn't this seem like if you're a young white person, young white straight man specifically, trying to get into the entertainment industry now, are you just fucked? Is it just fucked to be a straight white man in Hollywood now? I don't even like, what's the, I don't know. This is just so stupid. Training opportunities and skill development. Yeah, office training or work. Yes, whatever. Representation in my audience. So they need, basically, look, you need to have representation everywhere. They're trying to quotaize the entertainment industry in Hollywood. And is Hollywood known for being super bigoted? I mean, you had the whole Me Too thing, I guess. I wonder if they're doing the same thing in Bollywood. Like, I wonder if in Bollywood they're like, oh, and you must have 20% white people in this movie. Well, we need to have underrepresented cast of at least 20% Anglo-Saxon young female and male people from America, because they are not very well represented in our movies of today. Is that what happens in Bollywood? I don't think so. I don't think to win an award in Bollywood, you need to have any of this fucking identity politics happening. Because this seems to be a fucking plague that's really only hit the Western world at this point. But I don't know. Maybe if you're a straight white man, you've got better job opportunities in Bollywood at this point. So let's see this other article from Variety as well. Why the Oscar diversity rules should be embraced by all members. Sound a bit like the fucking moral authority police. The Oscars made a historic move. For people like me, it was the single bravest act I've witnessed from an awards body that I've loved my entire life. As a Latino black man from an inner city community who has often felt like he didn't belong to this very arena, I'm not comparing the murder of an innocent man to a few. Oh, Jesus. I'm not reading this trash. So I wanted to look at the Academy Awards for the best pictures for the last, 100 years, basically, and just see what's won. Okay, so Parasite. Asian producer and director. And I'm pretty sure it was an Asian movie. Green Book. What was Green Book about? Yeah, okay, this is about Africa. So In a 2018 American biographical comedy drama Road, film directed by Peter Farrelly, set in 1962, this film is inspired by the story of a tour of the Deep South by African-American classical and jazz pianist Don Shirley. So that's about a black guy. The Shape of Water, I'm pretty sure that was about, is a 2017 American romantic fantasy drama film directed by Guillermo del Toro and written by Toro Vanessa. Yeah, pretty sure that was about two gay guys. Moonlight, I'm pretty sure that was about black people. Spotlight, what was this about? And the investigation indicates widespread and systemic child sex abuse by numerous Roman Catholic priests. I mean, are child abuse victims considered an underrepresented group? I don't know. Birdman, that was really good. That was so fucking good. 12 Years a Slave, Argo. I mean, do these seem like we're talking about fucking racist movies here? Slumdog Millionaire. $1 Million Baby, I'm pretty sure that was about a female. Lord, what more underrepresented group than fucking Middle Earth creatures in Lord of the Rings? Chicago, Beautiful Mind. Look, I just think it was already going that way. I just think that you already had a very inclusive group. I think that you were already breaking these fucking walls. There's one of my favorite fucking things is what was it, Martin Scorsese? Marlon Brando, my mistake. Marlon Brando. One of my favorite things ever is Marlon Brando had this lady go up and accept his award for
I learned
him.
a great deal from a director named Ingmar Bergman. Often to be most eloquent is to be silent.
You're quite right. The film we've just seen has said it all. I think we should say that those nominated for the best performance by an actor are
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Michael Caine in Sleuth.
Laurence Olivier in Sleuth.
Peter O'Toole in The Ruling Class.
Paul Winfield in Sounder. The winner is Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Nice fucking cat.
For Marlon Brando in The Godfather is Shaheen Littlefeather.
So he sends up this Native American woman to accept his award for him.
Hello, my name is Shaheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening, and he has asked me to tell you in a very long speech, which I cannot share with you presently because of time, but I will be glad to share with the press afterwards, that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry, excuse me,
And it's interesting. One of the things that I find so interesting about this clip is that she gets booed there. You heard her get booed, and then I think the thing that I love so much about it is that you hear the claps start to overwhelm the boos. And I think the people that are booing this woman are fucking assholes. Like, let her say her piece. When you force this shit, then it just becomes the thing that people, you're not making it happen organically, and it was happening organically. And I can attribute it happening organically in part to Marlon Brando and Littlefeather here. And I think that when it happens organically, it can be beautiful. I think this was a beautiful moment. Even with the booze, I think it was a beautiful moment. I think he did a great thing. And we don't need Hollywood to tell us what to do.
And on television, in movie reruns, and also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee. I beg at this time that I have not intruded upon this evening, and that we will, in the future, our hearts and our understandings will meet with love and generosity. Thank you on behalf of Marlon Brando.
Anyway, guys, I don't know if I have much more to say, honestly. This is starting to get really... I'm finding this really hard because I want everyone to be treated equally and fairly, but you're not treating people equally and fairly when you say that, like, if you had a fully white cast, that suddenly is not going to be eligible to win any of the awards. That's never a good outcome. That's never a good solution. What if the solution was make no... if you have an all-black cast, you can't win any awards. If you have an all-Asian cast, you can't win any awards. If you have an all-gay cast, you can't win any awards. If you have an all-woman cast, you can't win any awards. If you have an all-trans cast, you can't win any awards. If you have an all-disabled cast, you can't win any awards. All of those things are terrible. All of them. So, if all of those things are terrible, why is it not terrible to say that if you have an all-straight white male cast, that you're not going to win any awards? We're going to exclude you. If you and 5 or 10 friends that are all happen to be straight white men go and make a movie together that does really, really, really well, it will never win any awards because we do not want movies that are made by and with only straight white men, is essentially what they're saying. Now, is that progress? Or are we just going to be sitting there now in 20 years' time going, straight white men have been oppressed and now they need to have it made so that there's these other quoted, like, just, we shouldn't be overcorrecting to try and fucking move this into a direction to favor anybody. Everyone should be getting treated equally. If you make the best fucking movie, it should get nominated for an award. It doesn't matter who the cast is. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what's in their fucking pants. It doesn't matter who they go to bed with at night. Fuck. I thought that we all as a society agreed with this shit. I thought that we all thought that it was okay to not look at people based on the color of their skin or what's in their fucking pants. When did we become such a racist, sexist society? And maybe I'm just getting too angry. Maybe this is just Hollywood. But the problem is that Hollywood informs a lot of the fucking culture in our world. Maybe I'm thinking too much about this. If you think I'm wrong, please leave me a comment. I just want to know. I don't know what's happening anymore. And I'm just getting sick of this shit. Have a good night.